Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Jeff Ronningen with Pure Storage, and we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Dan Whitacre, Senior Director of Kroger Labs and Tech Transformation at the Kroger Company. So as emerging technologies become more prevalent and mature, vetting out potential use cases and determining, which use cases justify investments and which ones can be successfully executed. As you mentioned, sometimes you have to maybe take a leap of faith and then know when to quit. But so how does that, talk a little bit more about how that process worked traditionally and how it needs to work in this brave new world we're venturing into?
All organizations have been defining use cases for a long time, right? If I can do this, I'll save this much money, increase sales, and so forth. With AI, as you mentioned, it is a bit of a risk. If I'm going to create an AI module to optimize this, whatever this might be, number one, how do I know it's not optimized already, right? And so what am I going to do to really optimize it? And to make the optimization work, I may have to go down several paths to figure out really where the bottlenecks are. So take understanding how to experiment and do the right experiments up front, so you don't spend time on other experiments that first experiment cancels out. And so you can fail fast is the important part of the thing. We have several PhDs in our department, and one of the wonderful thought processes they bring is that whole thought processes around experimentation. How do I organize my experiments so the toughest one, the hardest one, the one that will discount everything else, I'm going to do that first. And if that doesn't succeed, then I'm not going down the right path, right? And so the experimentation process is really interesting.
So prioritizing the one thing that makes the other things matter less.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Get through it.
So, Kroger has obviously a massive amount of customers, and Kroger is ingesting a huge amount of consumer information every day, and there's a lot of value there. So, I assume unlocking that value is one of your roles. And so what challenges, do you encounter and are you looking to overcome to unlock that value and change Kroger's business in a way that's positive and additive?
Yeah. Well, we collect, we collect a lot of data. We collect a lot of data because we're really trying to create a better customer experience. Everything that we do with data, we first ask ourselves, is this a value to the customer? And if it's a value to the customer, then we should proceed. Big challenge with data. Well, there's a lot, right? and it comes in at all times. And just so trying to figure out how to acquire and how to govern and how to make that data ready for use is always a big challenge. It takes a lot of compute, takes a lot of storage, et cetera, et cetera. But the technical challenge is obviously technology has evolved tremendously over the last 5 or 10 years. And a lot of the technology is there to do it now. And so just learning how to use it to make it work is very important. The other challenge is that you want to make sure that you're using that data in the best way you can to serve the customer. To do that, you really have to understand the context of the customer's journey. Not every trip to the grocery store is the same. And so, and I'll use my own experiences. If I'm going up there on it's Tuesday afternoon at 3:00, it's probably something I need for dinner tonight, right? And I'm in a hurry. And therefore, I'm very focused on what I want to do. If I'm going there on Saturday morning, I'm probably getting a whole bunch of stuff, right? And I'll be open to different kinds of communications and planning and so forth. So whether I'm filling out my shopping basket on mine to make that work, and just understanding the context about how I'm shopping today or how I'm planning to shop, and then getting the communications right for that experience becomes very important. So you really have to look at the whole breadth of data and that consumer's behavior and how to best serve them in that point in time.
And there's a lot of it.
And there's a lot of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what transformational changes, and obviously they're already experiencing some, but Kroger customers, what transformational changes will they be experiencing, and how is their shopping experience going to continue to change?
Well, the Kroger company is doing a lot right now, and not everybody. Kroger's is across the nation, and so not everybody gets a full picture of the Kroger. But there's so many interesting things happening right now. You're from this area, so you may have seen the news about drone delivery. Right, so we now have a drone delivery up near Dayton that will deliver. I think it's in a mile radius and a 5-pound package and so forth. So that's very, very interesting. We opened up a large fulfillment center in Mason, and now you can order all your products online. It comes to you in a truck, and the truck has a refrigeration unit and so forth. So it all comes fresh and ready to go. And that fulfillment center will serve a geography. I forget what it is. It's like 50-mile circumference or something like that. But just a different way to go to market. That same kind of fulfillment center, we just opened one in Florida. Florida, we have no brick and mortar stores, but we do business there now because it's all online order. And more of those will be opened up across the country. Many of them have been announced, but I can't remember the cities right off the top of my head. We've also done partnerships with Instacart on fast delivery. And so getting a set of products within 30 minutes of ordering them is a possibility now. So it's just the ways that we can serve customers and the modes by which they want to shop continue to change.
Awesome. Well, I wish you success. And that concludes my questions for today. So thank you, Dan Whitacre, for joining me today. And for those of you out there listening, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. And Dan, I really enjoyed it and really informative. And I thought your questions were just full of useful information and insights. So thank you.
Well, thanks, Jeff. It's good talking to you.